History remembers him as youth and glamour. It forgets how close he came to ending the world. In January 1961, John F. Kennedy entered the White House as the youngest elected president in American history. He spoke of a new frontier defined by vigor and sacrifice, and while much of the country saw confidence, the Soviet Union saw inexperience. 3 months later, the illusion cracked. The Bay of Pigs invasion collapsed on a Cuban beach. A covert plan inherited from the previous administration unraveled in public. Exiles were captured. American involvement was undeniable. Kennedy stood before cameras and accepted responsibility. Privately, he absorbed a colder lesson: the military could be certain and still be wrong. Trust shifted. 18 months later, reconnaissance photographs revealed Soviet nuclear missiles in Cuba, just 90 miles from Florida. Generals advised airstrikes. Some urged invasion. The language was clinical and precise, but the consequences were existential. Here is what changed everything. Kennedy chose a naval quarantine instead of immediate attack. It was a narrow decision, but it forced time into the equation. Soviet ships moved toward the blockade line. American forces went to DEFCON 2. One misread radar screen, one nervous submarine captain, and escalation would begin. Behind closed doors, he resisted his own advisors. He remained publicly firm, while privately he continued negotiating. When a secret message offered missile removal in exchange for a pledge not to invade Cuba, he accepted. When a second demand required removing American missiles from Turkey, he agreed quietly and withheld that concession from the public. The ships turned back. For a moment, the world exhaled. Yet survival did not make him untouchable. It made him controversial, to hardliners who believed he had blinked, and to enemies who believed he had endured. On November 22, 1963, in Dallas, the presidential motorcade slowed in Dealey Plaza, and a rifle fired from an upper-floor warehouse window. Power shattered in seconds, and authority transferred to his vice president aboard Air Force One before the day ended. The presidency did not fall. It hardened. Within a year, American combat troops entered Vietnam in force. The Cold War deepened, and the security state expanded. His image remained young in photographs, but the machinery of power kept moving. Sounds fake. It's history. Subscribe for more real history that sounds fake.